this evening, we are bringing you a detailed breakdown of the days leading up to Charleston County inmate Mary Brucato's death and why there are questions surrounding the help she did or did not receive.
Last week, the Charleston County Coroner's Office ruled the August death of the 23-year-old as a homicide.
And Chief Deputy Coroner Brittney Martin stated that after a thorough investigation, the cause of death was determined to be complications of fentanyl intoxication, recent cocaine use, and medical neglect.
Live 5's investigative reporter Emily Johnson joining us now to give us an exclusive timeline on Brucato's death.
Yes, Anne. Well, the timeline comes from the Pepper Law Firm as they're representing the family, collecting video evidence, witness testimony, and important medical documents. Live 5 is sharing this information exclusively to give you, the community, a better understanding into what led up to Mary Brucato's death. Now, many people assumed Brucato was on drugs at the time of her death due to the cause of death ruling, but in reality, she was detoxing inside the facility. At 7:42 p.m. on August 8th, Mary Brucato was officially taken into custody for possession of fentanyl. When Brucato arrived to the Charleston County Jail, a nurse instructed for her to quickly be taken to an ER outside of the jail because of open sores on her body. Brucato arrived back to the jail around an hour later. At 11:41, the medical team completed a full medical assessment where Brucato was ordered for withdrawal monitoring and prescriptions. The next morning on August 9th, Brucato had her bond hearing where at 8:06, video showed her throwing up into a garbage can.
We know that she was not monitored at all. We know that she was vomiting within 12 hours of arrival.
At 8:25 that evening, Brucato was seen walking out of her cell wrapped in a blue blanket. She walked back into her cell. This is the last time that Brucato was seen on any surveillance footage. The next morning on August 10th, deputies continued to walk past Brucato's cell, but did not enter, with lunch reportedly given at 11:25, but was not eaten. Hours later at 6 p.m., a deputy observed feces on the floor and smeared on a wall, but they did not enter Brucato's cell. Later that night at 9:56, medical staff went inside of Brucato's cell and noted taking vitals and giving medication. A few minutes later, medical staff were called back by a nurse with concerns. They responded, but simply walked past her cell and took a medical cart to another cell down the hall. Per a pathologist, Brucato's death is best determined on or after that day, August 10th.
The time of death is unable to be determined by my expert and by anybody associated with the coroner's office. Because when she was finally checked on physically, the rigor mortem had set in.
On August 11th at 9:55 in the morning, the medical team was alerted of concerns by deputies and were asked to check on Brucato. An hour later, medical staff rolled a medical cart by her cell, but never checked in on Brucato and appeared to perform a check on the wrong inmate. It was at 3:10 that afternoon that EMS officially called for a deceased inmate.
She was on her deathbed, waiting to die. In her mind, she was waiting on help, and the help never came.
Throughout this entire investigation, we've been looking at this timeline with records by Vital Corps noting Brucato continuing to refuse assessments, electrolytes, and detox protocols. But Pepper says the documentation does simply not add up to the video evidence. We have a full sit-down interview with him and the next steps in the legal case coming up later this week. For Live 5 Investigates, I'm Emily Johnson.